98S. The engine's running so she can warm up. Hello, it is Tuesday the 9th of March. I'm about to take this out on a little ride up to Bridgnorth. Go to the guys at Street Bike, see if they can tell me where the battery is. Embarrassingly enough, I want to fit my heated gloves to it, but I can't find the battery connector. I can't find the battery anywhere. It's not under the seat. That's all I know where to look. So hopefully we'll find it somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to head on this now, take it for a quick ride to Street Bike, see if I can connect my batteries, then go out for a big blast, come back. Yesterday it's made a hell of an impression on me, but I was taking it very, very easy because I didn't want to die. Today I'm going to see if I can actually crank it up a little bit. It's dry outside, it's not 100% sunny, but it's not bad. And it's time for me to get on this piece of automotive porn and see if I can't put it through its paces. Catch you in a bit. There we go. Here she sits in all her pride and glory. We're past Bridgnorth. Quite a way past Bridgnorth actually, almost at Shrewsbury. I've been riding this thing, got a bit frustrated because it got stuck in traffic, and it gets very hot when you're in traffic on this bike, do you know what I mean? It's pumping off so much heat, it's not designed to be riding at 20-30 miles an hour. It doesn't like it being stuck in first gear, but then as soon as we hit the dual carriageway, the de-restricted bit, gave it some wicked. I had a really good chat with Gary as well up at Street Bike. Talked about this, he's just, because you know, my favourite sports bike for this was the R1, the new R1 obviously, and this is an amazing machine. Now, we were kind of talking about how you can compare the two because they are very, very different for a start. They're the two best selling motorbikes. This, in fact, the three best selling motorbikes in the world, to me, is this, the R1 and the Triumph Thunderbird. We're going to maybe do a test with it at some point next week where I put this next to the R1 and you get to vote on which one sounds nicer, because this twin is such a unique sound, but that R1 with the cross-plane crank, oh, it encapsulates everything. It sounds like a jet engine taking off. But yeah, this thing, for a start, I'm surprised, you know, I think yesterday, everyone telling me, oh, it's a really hairy bike and everything, you're going to get something in your head. And then you realise, actually, well, okay, it's got a little bit more torque, but it is almost identical power-wise to R1, Gixxer 1000, Blade, and all those kind of things, which I've ridden tracks a lot. So as soon as I kind of got that in my head, I've been able to really enjoy this and actually give it a lot more. First things first, as I say, that engine, just unbelievable, you know, it really, really wants to be revved. It can be a little bit lumpy, but, and I can understand when people say, oh, it's a hairy bike. If you grab a handful of throttle on this unsubtly, because it is a twin, because the torques and power is a lot more immediate, yeah, it's going to chuck you around, it's going to jerk you off. You have to be careful on the progressive acceleration and braking. As I mentioned, those brakes are so sharp, but as soon as you get used to that, she actually rides pretty well. You know, obviously she's not an everyday kind of Japanese superbike, she's an Italian superbike, and with that, again, another trap I don't want to fall into is end up just talking about passion and heart and soul, but you know, I'll give you a couple of examples, just little things like, if you look at, for instance, how it's put together, I wanted to plug my heated gloves into the battery earlier. Now, like any Ducati, they wouldn't put the battery under the seat where it's easily accessible, and I can just whack my heated gloves into there, where they know that the battery is somewhere under the frame, so that can't be done. That's cool, it's Ducati. I was looking at, like, for instance, the joining quality on stuff on the plastics and that, you know, it's all good. But it's not something you'd expect, I suppose, of a Japanese bike. And this is not in a derogatory way, you know, when you go to kick down the kickstand, you end up kicking half the fairing off, things like that, you know, that's not the best. But, considering you're paying £16,000 for this, which is what the R1 now is 12,000, Blade's a little bit less and all that kind of stuff, and this is about 16 grand, it's obviously a lot more. But you don't buy this, and you know, no one buys a Ferrari or Ducati to take the kids to school in, you know, to do anything practical and to do your shopping runs. You buy it because of the fact is, look at it, it's a Ducati. It is incredibly unique, that 1198 with that incredible racing twins that Ducati have the pedigree of, you know, it's unbelievable. And it really is, it's a great engine, it blows you away. As I say, I've ridden the Buell before and the Monster being the twin, and I've ridden the Thunderbird with the parallel twin. I think this is probably, well, it's not my Thunderbird, my favourite twin engine. My favourite V-twin, definitely. Brakes, as I say, they are tight, but wow, they're amazing. To be honest with you, just riding it has been just a great experience. I had a bit of stress today, nothing bad, nothing at work or anything like that. It's one of those days, you know, when you just let things get to you. Coming out on this has completely cleared my head. I mean, just being out in the country, I wish it was a little bit sunnier, be nicer, but you can't have everything, can you? And I've just been having a lot of fun. I think what I'm going to do, jump back on it, because I'm not making a lot of sense, because I'm in that kind of numb riding frame of mind, and head home and give my final opinions when I get home. But I genuinely, I mean, this is the reason why I'm kind of being quite hesitant, is I don't want to turn around and go, oh, this is just like the greatest bike in the world ever. But you know what? It might be up there, because I don't want people to go and buy this for 16 grand thinking they're getting a bike that's going to be like a Japanese superbike, that's incredibly reliable, incredibly like amazingly well built and everything. Of course it's not. There's a lot more, well, it's Italian, you know, there's a lot more passion, heart and soul, and I'm saying that passion, heart and soul thing, but there is. It rides like nothing else, you know, it really, really does. But you are kind of aware that you are a little bit more on the edge, I suppose. But yeah, do you know what? It's just a lot of fun. I'm going to get back on, even without my heated gloves, head back to Brum, and then I'll let you know what I think from there on in. But all I know is that the next few days on this thing are going to be amazing. I've made it up to Shrewsbury tonight. I'm going to try and make it to Wales at some point over the weekend. I'm going to put some miles on this bike. Speak to you in a bit. We've made it back okay, all the way from Bridgnorth got into Wales, kind of. About 3 hours on this bike. Feels like a part of me. More on that in a second though, because I need to do you this. Listen to this noise. That, my friends, is one of the best noises on this history of the planet Earth. Right, now earlier I was being very contemplative. I think I was thinking about this too much and trying to, you know, compare it, analyse, justify it. I'm trying to do these reviews. There's a little bit of practicality in my brain now as well. But having spent 3 hours on this bike, having got over that initial, oh, it's going to be really scary, and then realising that while it is very powerful, it's, you know, it's not any more dangerous than any of the other superbikes out there. And without being big-headed, and I really don't mean this in an arrogant way, but I've ridden over 100 bikes, you know, just in the last year alone. So you develop quite good riding skills and obviously done a lot of miles. And you realise that, you know, I'm a track rider, I do race, that, yeah, actually, this is a brilliant bike. I've had it literally between my legs for 3 hours now. That sounds dodgy, but done quite 100 miles. And it just feels a part of me. I didn't want to get off. I took it round to my mate's house, and I took it to the supermarket up the road because the security guard always wanted to see a Ducati, and now I'm probably going to go back out on it in a second because it's that good. The almost awkwardness I felt with it first when getting on it, because it is different, it is a Ducati, you know, as I say, that twin, and people going, it's going to kill you, that engine and that throttle response. It's not, it's that much more instant because it is a twin, there's so much more torque. That's all it is, you know. On a 4-cylinder cylinder, okay, they're very, very fast, but if you maybe give it a little bit too heavy on the throttle, you get a chance to recover because it has to wind up that just split second more. With this, obviously, you don't have that. I found the same thing with the Speed Triple, actually. Now, I always say it's the bike that almost killed me, but that makes sense because I wasn't used to not being able to grab that much of a handful. Since I've been riding, say, big twins and stuff, you get used to it. But just amazing. Handles, brilliant. The brakes, I'm now so used to. Just those 2 fingers on, that's all you ever need, even when you need to really put the anchors on. So it's so much more comfortable. That engine, just going, you know, through town, first, second, probably don't even need to get out of first, really, because it just sounds amazing. You just don't want it to overheat. It's brilliant. Now I've got the tyres kind of actually like a little bit worn in as well. The grip is there. I was really kind of getting my knee down a few of those twisty bits up towards wherever I went, you know. I can't think now, my brain's too gone. Just too exciting. I said it earlier. But yeah, I actually am falling in love with this bike. I'm getting quite worried because, you know, I can't justify spending £60,000 on a bike. I don't have that money. If I did, would I buy this? I've still got more days to review on it, so this is the end of the review. But at the moment, my heart, as you can see, is just going, wow. As I mentioned, you know, it's not going to have, I mean, I don't know, I've not had it for a long term, but traditionally you don't have the build quality or reliability as the Hondas, the Yamahas, the Suzukis. And you know, as I've mentioned, every single one of those bikes, the R1, the Blade, the Gixxer Thou, the Ninja, these are amazing, amazing superbikes. But there is nothing like the Ducati, that big twin, the passion, the charisma that goes into it, the flair. It's so different. Yeah, it is lively. When I'm saying that, you know, it's not as scary as I thought it is lively. I have had a couple of moments where I've almost caught myself out, but as a rule, track-ready superbikes, this is probably a little bit more taut than the others because those have ECU modes and stuff that allow you to have a bit more manageable. But do you know what? Just for a general riding experience, that's one of the best rides I've done in my life. Enough said. I'll be back on it tomorrow. Get in. Ride safe, my friends.